Good day everyone. This video will explore the Baroque period, a time of artistic innovation and dramatic expression that significantly shaped Western culture. So, Baroque music is a style of Western art music composed from approximately 1600 to 1750. This era followed the Renaissance and was followed in turn by the Classical era. The word Baroque comes from the Portuguese word barroco, meaning misshapen pearl, a negative description of the ornate and heavily ornamented music of this period. The timeline highlights the major periods of Western music, each with distinct characteristics. First is the medieval period, year 1150 to 1400s. This early period featured primarily religious music, with Gregorian chant as a prominent form. Next is Renaissance period, year 1400s and to 1600s, a period of rebirth and rediscovery, marked by a renewed interest in classical music and a move towards more polyphonic textures. Third is the Baroque period, year 1600s to 1750. This year emphasized drama, emotion, and elaborate ornamentation with the development of new musical forms like opera, concerto, and sonata. Then we have classical period, year 1750 to 1820. Stressed balance, clarity, and elegance with a focus on sonata, form, and symphony. And Romantic period, year 1820 to 1900s, celebrated emotion, individualism, and expressive power, often with larger orchestras and more dramatic music. So last is the 20th century and 21st century, year 1900s up to present. A period of experimentation and innovation with a wide range of styles, from atonal and serial music to minimalist and postmodern approaches.
Baroque has three major phases: the early Baroque, middle Baroque, and the last is the late Baroque. First is the early Baroque. Early Baroque was an art style that existed from 1580 to 1620. It was characterized by dramatic lighting and intense emotions, as well as ornate details and decorations. This style also often featured a sense of movements and energy. Early Baroque artists and architects drew inspirations from classical elements like columns and arches. The second is the Middle Baroque. Middle Baroque saw the rise of cantata, oratorio, and opera, with a new emphasis on music's equality with words. The Middle Baroque period in music is generally considered to span from around 1630 to 1680. This period is known for the emergence and development of new local and instrumental genres, including the cantata, oratorio, and opera. A key feature of the Middle Baroque was a new concept of melody and harmony, which elevated the status of music to one of equality with the words. And the last one is the Late Baroque. Late Baroque was an art style from 1670 to 1750. It was like an earlier Baroque style, but even more dramatic and fancy. Buildings, sculptures, and paintings from this time had lots of intricate details, sweeping curves, and grand proportions. Artists also played with light and shadow to create a sense of drama. Late Baroque was all about making things look beautiful and impressive.
So in this part, we will tackle the Baroque instrument. Violino piccolo is a small string instrument of the Baroque period. Most examples are similar to a child-sized violin in size are tuned a minor, third, or a fourth higher. Violin is a bowed-string instrument, the highest pitched member of the violin family, played by drawing a bow across its four strings. Viol are bowed instrument, meaning that sound is produced by drawing a bow across the string. Viola, an instrument of the violin family larger than the violin and tuned by a fifth lower. Viola pomposa, meaning pomposa viola in Italian, is a five-string instrument, a variation of the viola developed around 1725, with a high E string added to the standard viola, expanding its range. Tenor violin refers to a historical string instrument also known as a small bass violin or a German cello that plays between viola and a cello tune an octave lower than standard violin. Cello, also known as a violin cello, is a large bowed string instrument in the violin family, held upright between the legs and played with a bow while seated. Contrabass refers to the double bass, the largest and the lowest pitched member of the string family. Lute is a plucked string musical instrument with a rounded body, a long neck, and frets. Bow is a plucked string instrument with an extended neck and open string bass string used for accompanying singers and playing bass continuous part in the Baroque period. Arc lute is a European plucked string instrument, essentially a tenor lute with a bow neck extension. Angeliki is a plucked string instrument part of the family from the Baroque era, combining features of the lute, harp, and bow. Mandolin is a small plucked string instrument with 8 strings and fretted neck known for its bright high and pitched sound. Guitar is a string musical instrument usually with a 6 string played by plucking or strumming with finger or pick, and notes are produced by pressing the string against frets on the neck. Harp is a string instrument in which the resonator or belly is perpendicular or nearby so the plain string. Hurdy-gurdy is a crank-operated string instrument also known as a wheel feeder where resonate wheel produce sound and pitches are adjusted by pressing keys. Viola de amor is a 7th or 6th string musical instrument with additional sympathetic string used chiefly in the Baroque period. It is played under the chin in the same manner as the violin. Woodwind instrument. Baroque flute, also known as the traverso, is a wooden one-keyed transverse flute popular during the Baroque period, roughly in 16 and 1750, and used in European classic music. Kalomia is a historical single woodwind instrument, a precursor to the modern clarinet, known for its warm, soft tone and cylindrical bore. Quarter, you likely referring to its Gaussian Renaissance woodwind instrument with a double reed and folded conical bore, considered a predecessor to the modern bassoon. Dulcian is a Renaissance-era double-reed woodwind instrument, a precursor to the modern bassoon, known folded conical bore and deep tone. Mousset de cor is a popular big pipe in a French court circle during the 17th and 18th centuries, featured the low bone design, double reed chanters, and unique shuttle drone system. Baroque oboe, also known as a hautbois in French, is a high wood, double reed woodwind instrument generating from the Chaûne and gaining prominence in the mid-17th century. Racket is a Renaissance-era double reed wind instrument, also known as a racket curvalis or sausage bassoon, that was introduced in the 16th century and in 17th century. Recorder is a classified type of internal duet flute or fiffle flute. Bassoon is a large woodwind instrument with a low, rich tone, played with a double reed, known for its versatility and distinctive sound in orchestral music. Clarinet is a woodwind instrument with a cylindrical bore and flared bell, producing sound through air column vibration when blown through the mouthpiece and reed.
Here are the brass instruments. Cornet is a wind instrument popular in the Renaissance and Baroque period. Natural horn, a brass instrument without the valves relying on lip tension to change pitch. Baroque trumpet, a long the coiled trumpet used in the Baroque music. Tromba da terarsi, Momba ispiza, a type of slide the trumpet from the Baroque period. Flat trumpet is a trumpet with a flattened chip used in historical music. Serpent, a bass-wind instrument shaped like a snake used before tubas. So here are the keyboard and percussion instruments. Clavichord, a soft-sounding keyboard instrument used for practice and composition. Tangent piano is a transitional keyboard between the harpsichord and the piano. Fortepiano, the early version of the modern piano developed in the 18th century. Harpsichord, a plucked string keyboard instrument used in the Baroque music. Organ is a wind-powered keyboard instrument commonly used in the churches. Baroque timpani, early version of the modern timpani used in the Baroque orchestras. Wood snare drum is a drum with the snares that produce the sharp, rattling sounds. Tenor drum is a larger drum that produces a deep sound. Tambourine, a small handheld percussion instrument with jingles. Castanets is a small handheld wooden instrument that produces clicking sounds used in the Spanish and the Baroque music.
Let's go ahead with the styles and forms. So the Baroque suite often consists of the following movements. First is the overture. The Baroque suite often begins with a French overture, which was followed by a succession of dances of different types. Next is the Allemande. Allemande, often the first dance of an instrumental suite. The Allemande was a very popular dance that had its origin in the German Renaissance area, when it was more often called as Allemagne or situation needed. Next is the Courante. The second dance is the Courante, a lively French dance in the triple meter. The Italian version is called Corrente. Next is the Sarabande. The Sarabande, a Spanish dance, is the third of the four basic dances and is one of the slowest of the Baroque dances. It is also in triple meter and can start on any beat of the bar, although there is an emphasis on the second beat, creating the characteristic halting or iambic rhythm of the Sarabande. Lastly, the gig. The gig is an upbeat and lively Baroque dance and compound meter, typically the concluding movement of an instrumental suite and the fourth of its basic dance types. The gig can start on any beat of the bar and is easily recognized by its rhythmic feel.
Let us explore five prominent French Baroque dance: the Gouvet, Bourrée, Minuet, Paspade, and Rigodon. Those dance popular in the 17th and 18th century. First, Gouvet, originating in the Gap region of southeastern France, and lively dance in deploy time. Usually second or fourth, essentially a folk dance, it's gained popularity in the court of Louis XIV. A distinctive feature is its characteristic upbeat, often beginning on the half measure.
Second, the Bourrée. Hailing from the Auvergne region of France, is also a dance in deploy time but generally faster than the Gouvet. It shares rhythmic similarities with the Gouvet, but it specifically starts with a quarter bar upbeat like the Gouvet. Third is the Minuet. The Minuet, whose name possibly derives from the French words minute, cylinder, is a stately dance in triple time. It's emerged as a social dance in the 17th century, becoming a staple at the court of Louis XIV. The Paspay, originating in the Brittany, is a lively dance in triple time. 3/4 or 3/8, it names meaning passing feet, refers to its characteristic step. Lastly, the Rigodon. The Rigodon from the southern province of France is a lively dance in triple time, similar to Bourrée, but rhythmically simpler. Its sprintly character and hopping step made it popular in both folk and court settings. The rigodon, along with other dances like the paspay and bourrée, eventually yielded to the minuet property in late 18th century.
So other features. Basso continuo. This is the continuous accompaniment typically played by a keyboard instrument and a cello or basson. It's written using a system called figure bass or bass, where numbers indicate the chords to be played above the bass line. This allows for improvisation and flexibility. Other genres are vocal and instrumental. So, vocal. Opera. This is a dramatic musical work typically in several acts with singing and orchestral accompaniment. Masque or masque, a dramatic entertainment with music, dance, and elaborate costumes. Oratorio, a large-scale musical work for choir, soloists, and orchestra often based on a biblical story. Passion music, a musical setting of the Passion of Christ. Cantata, a shorter vocal work typically for choir and soloists. And the Mass music, a musical setting of the Mass liturgy in the Catholic Church. Anthem, a choral work often with religious text. Monody, a solo vocal piece with instrumental accompaniment. And chorale, a hymn or tune for congregational singing. For instrumental, we have choral composition, a musical work based on a choral melody. Concerto grosso, a concerto for a small group of solo instruments and orchestra. Fugue, a contrapuntal composition in which a short melody is developed by interweaving its parts. Suite, a collection of instrumental pieces often in a specific order. Sonata, a multi-movement instrumental composition for one or two instruments. Other musical forms are partita, a suite of dance movements, and canzona, a polyphonic instrumental composition often in a lively style, and sinfonia, an orchestral composition often in several movements. Fantasia, a free-form instrumental composition often with improvisational elements. Ricercar or ricercar, a contrapuntal composition similar to a fugue. Toccata. A toccata is a virtuosic instrumental piece often with rapid passages and improvisational elements. And prelude, a short introductory piece often played before a longer work. And last is chaconne, a composition with a repeating bass line or bass line and variations on a theme.